Prajavahini. I'm Archana Swamy. Today's topic on Find Your Coach is PETC, Pre-Examination Training for Competitive Exams. Karnataka government has various trainings to create employment. KS, IAS, SDA and FDA are a prominent few. In today's conversation, let's understand what are their different offerings and what's the best fit for you. We're having an interaction with the Chief Administrative Officer herself, a KS officer, Dr. K.Anjum Hafeez. Thank you, Anjum, for being here and for gracing us.
Thank you, Archana, for the invite.
And let's coming to the topic of PETC. What does PETC offer as coachings and trainings?
PETC first started off as pre-examination training center, where we were basically focusing on those SC students or other backward classes students, ST students, who wanted to prepare for a government service, but weren't able to do so because of the economic backwardness or probably for not having access. So it basically started off as a coaching institute by itself. It was in-house training candidates when it started off. We had our own classes, we had the best faculty coming in, and they used to conduct classes for UPSC and KS and all the alike examinations, government examinations. And when the strength got bigger and we thought, okay, let us depute them into the reputable coaching institutions. So that was another change which was made across time in PTC, where we no longer hold classes, but then we depute students into institutes of their choice. So we have an entrance examination conducted by KEA. Munche adarna we used to call it our CT. So there's a small entrance examination given, and then accordingly a merit list is prepared, and it's a normal counseling like how you have engineering and medical counselings, where students opt for the institutes of their choice. So based on their preferences and their marks, they are allotted seats, and this is how it goes for deputing students for government jobs. Like we cater to UPSC, KAS, Group C examinations, SSC, including judiciary. We even So the judges, to become a judge, any lawyer, he would need some kind of he needs to pass an exam, and that also goes through a proper formulated training. So we conduct that as well. So currently we have we have tied up with institutes in Delhi, Hyderabad, and all across Karnataka. So I have 49 institutes on board now, where around 6,500 students are deputed.
Amazing. So how do you select these organizations when you're the institutes basically?
Yes. So this is basically we follow KTPP, Karnataka Transparency in Public Procurement. So we go for an open tender. We have our list of credentials which the institute should satisfy, and once they cross that threshold of being qualified, and then it's just an empanelment, and then the students choose the institute. So whatever is the cost, and usually it's a little lesser than the market cost, the cost is decided, and we sponsor the students, as in we pay on students' behalf to the institute regularly, and we also give stipend to the students for those, keeping in mind those students who will have to move out of the house and take up a PG or a hostel. So for the food and accommodation, we give them stipend, and we provide the course fee directly to the institute, wherein the student can study.
Amazing. Is it for only the backward communities or economically background students too?
Right now we are catering to scheduled caste and scheduled tribe candidates. I think the year back we were even backward classes and minority also had delegated this program to us. So we were doing it on their behalf, but by their own fundings. The fundings come from the respective departments, but as such we belong to social welfare department.
Okay. And is there any probability that apart from the trainings, they're also getting the mentorship and the counseling, or is it just the training part for the examination?
Okay, this is training for the examination, but I must say today in the morning I got to know that one of the very well reputed institutes in Delhi, they conducted their first monthly test. It's been 1.5 months, and I think the top rankers are from PETC. So he has sent us the rank list, the marks list rather. So our kids are doing well, and the coaching institute is also hand holding them. Like now they prepare for the prelims, and in case they pass the prelims, then there's a specially formulated program for the mains, and then they also mentor them for the interview part and counseling. So on the whole, the coaching institutes are doing their bit from a person getting admitted till his journey to become an officer. Yeah, so they've been quite supportive.
Okay, and what is the course duration?
Okay, so
And
for 3 months courses, we have split it like for SSC and Group C courses. We need something like 3 to 4 months training, not more than that, because the syllabus also is limited. So we give them 3 months course training, and for KS we give them 7 months training. For UPSC we train them for 9 months for the prelims, and those who pass prelims an additional 3 months for the mains.
okay, okay. And do they have the mock tests and
They have everything which any paid student gets. In fact, they have better facilities, which is what we have asked them for. So, so that there is no gap in providing facilities to any other student who's a paid commercial student, as in a student who comes out of the communities on his own money, and the students were sponsored by us. So we've even benchmarked 10% of our course fee for the books. So whatever books a student wants, he should readily get it. Other than his reference books and library and their own in-house notes, whatever he asks for should be provided.
so all the resources, database, and all.
Everything. In fact, a few of our institutes have formulated exclusive batches for PETC who got more numbers. So they've been trained well and mentored.
You being a KS officer yourself, like what are the challenges while choosing a proper coaching institute or the right coach?
Okay, to be honest, I didn't have any kind of a coaching full-fledged because by the time I prepared or appeared for the examinations, I was already married and settled, and I was not even in Karnataka. So I prepared on my own. But yes, I did attend for a couple of weeks a few coaching centers. Back then, we had very few of them. So
Okay.
we didn't have that stress of which coaching institute to choose from. Okay, but then now we have a lot of them, and in fact, Bangalore and next Dharwad is the next hub of civil services. We have in Bangalore, you have places like Vijayanagar, which are like you can see that they're all through. You find only coaching classes for the government. The similar scenario in Dharwad is there, where you have a lot of coaching centers. So I think student when he is planning to attempt for an exam will roughly do a small survey. That is what I feel. So most of the kids who come to us, they know what institute they want.
Okay.
So because since they are going in, you need to be a graduate to appear for any of these exams. So post your graduation, when you take a decision to attempt for any exam, so that would have a lot of discussions and deliberations with the friends and seniors and other people who are in government service. So kids do their own homework, so they know, and we give them a preference. Like I have 30 institutes, they'll have to choose all 30 in order of their preference. So if they miss out on one, it falls
get the
into the
next.
next. Yeah, so that way they have their priorities sorted. So that has never been an issue with us.
Okay. I mean, when you were growing up, being a student or aspiring to be a dentist, like I have never even known that you were a doctor. So
Okay.
it's amazing to see choosing a profession. And again, what made you aspire for services?
Well, to be honest, I come from a family which had bureaucrats. But I was never raised to be an officer, as I am a dental surgeon by academic qualification. My dad was an IPS officer, so I had seen him into the system, but that was not what was destined for me. So I was married off, and I was in a different place, out of state, and all that. But somewhere it struck me that administration is the best thing you can do to the society and the people, if rightly administered, of course. So I could never focus on my post my dentistry. I somehow felt disinterested in dentistry because I have my two brothers also who are in services. So I felt that that job is much more fascinating, and also if done well, you can do a lot of changes in the society. I mean, the changes that I want for myself in the society, I'll be able to create one, which is what I felt, and I think I really worked hard for it. I've passed it thrice actually through KPSC. I was in commercial taxes department, then I was in municipal administration, and now I'm back to my first department, audit and accounts, and deputed to social welfare department.
Amazing. What a ride you have been
Yes,
having.
I have been through most of should I say, the strategic departments where we had in Karnataka government. Yes.
Your
I've been
dad
a part
was one of the dynamic officers. How come you're not inspired by him, but later you got motivated to be into civils?
I think the family background and their ideas also matter. So until I think in an Indian scenario, for most of the women, the parents decide what you want to be.
True.
So I was channelized over that. So I got married quite early, right after my graduation. And then I couldn't find satisfaction in any other work. So I realized probably this is the field to be in. And I was there. I did work for it, and God has been kind. That's it.
That's amazing. And you, of course, had your own share of struggles even after marriage. It's not easy to crack an exam like this, and that too thrice. What were your challenges back then in cracking the exam?
Okay, I mean, if to all those girls who are getting into a marriage and still want to be an officer and all that, the journey is really tough. It's not a cakewalk. I think at least until you're married and you're with your parents, things are a little comfortable. Later, you have a lot of responsibilities. So the first exam that I gave in was my 2011 UPSC exam, where I couldn't qualify for the interview, but that was very disheartening. But right after the result, I had a KPSC notification waiting, and I appeared for that. And the second exam, which I had, I was medically a little ill because I was having my child. And the third exam, I had a child on the lap. So it was quite difficult for me. I think men are at a little more advantage on this front, because for women, the family baggage is always there.
If you could do with a child in your lap, I think anybody can do it.
Oh, it was a hard struggle, of course, but my first preparation was very, very good. So I think that substantially contributed to my successive exams as well, because the first time what I studied, I prepared for my UPSC and for my first KS exam. That was a very sound preparation. So even that helped me a lot in my second and third attempt as well. So I always tell the students who come to me that when you give your first attempt, let that be very sound. Don't give it in the dilemma or keeping the next attempt in mind ki chalo ye bar this ee sari maado nodona eshtagutte next time ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಸರಿ. No, I don't know. First time ಅಲ್ಲಿ full focus ಇಡಿ, ಅದರ ನಂತರ ಯಾದ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, it is definitely going to help you. Like in my life, my first attempt was the best preparation that I've had, and that definitely helped me for my second and third.
ಮೂರ್ ಸಲ ಬರೆದ್ರಿ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್, ಮೂರ್ ಸಲನೂ ಪಾಸ್ ಆದ್ರಿ, ಮೂರ್ ಸಲನೂ ಲೈಕ್ ಯು ವರ್ ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಷನಲಿ ವೆಲ್. ಇವಾಗ ನೀವು ಬರೆಯೋ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ನೀವು ಕ್ರ್ಯಾಕ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ವಾಟ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಟಿಪ್ಸ್ ದಟ್ ಯು ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಗಿವ್ ದಮ್?
See, this is not something like it happens overnight or in 2 months, 3 months. I remember to give those 3 exams, I spent a decade. Okay, so 10 years of my life, the youth that I had, so that was spent while all others were, well settled, married, or probably they were earning and they were into good jobs, and I was still at home studying. And that's the journey of every successful candidate, I feel. Anybody, they would have just been a little isolated from the mainstream in the society, with the family, in fact with the own siblings and parents, because that amount of focus is needed. So it's worth it. That is what I tell kids. Now it seems very harsh and to be, just into the books and spending all your time. In fact, I tell a lot of my students, please mail me. Don't come to the office. Why do you want to waste 2 hours traveling in Bangalore? 2 hours up and down, 4 hours waste ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಒಂದು ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಓದ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀರಾ, ಬರಬೇಡಿ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಟೈಮ್ ದಟ್ they will have to put in their efforts. And yes, with your
peer pressure ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಲೈಕ್ ಎವ್ರಿಬಡಿ ಎಲ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಡೂಯಿಂಗ್ ವೆಲ್ ಇನ್ ಲೈಫ್, ನಾನು ಇನ್ನೂ ಓದ್ತಾನೆ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ, ನಾನು ಇನ್ನೂ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಬರೀತಾನೆ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ, ಒಂದ್ಸಲ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ, 2 ಸಲ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ, ನಾನು ಪುನಃ ಅದು ಬರೀತಾನೆ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಸೊ ಯು ಗೋ ಥ್ರೂ ಅ ಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಟರ್ಮಾಯಿಲ್, ರೈಟ್?
Yes, of course it's there, but as I said, it's worth it, because definitely if you put in efforts, you are going to succeed. I also put in a lot of efforts for my UPSC, and agilla, but I got into KS. But don't set your standards low. Yavaglu aim for something big. In fact, I tell all these kids who attempt for a KS exam, who take training, ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ, UPSC ಗೆನೆ ನೀವು ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿ. You prepare there, and let this be a backing. Okay, so you will definitely, if you have sincerely worked hard, and for sure your inner self, you will know that yes, you will make it someday. ಅದು ನಂತರ ಅದ್ರ ಪದೇ ಪದೇ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಒನ್ ಆಫ್ ದೋಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಫ್ಯೂ ಕೇಸಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಬಿನ್ ವೆರಿ ಅನ್ಫಾರ್ಚುನೇಟ್, ಬಟ್ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ಎಲ್ಸ್ ವೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ಲೈಫ್ ವೆರಿ ಬಿಗ್. ಬಟ್ hard work is something that you'll have to, and you'll have to be very perseverant. As I told you, I didn't even practice my dentistry for 10 years, so I wasn't even earning. I was depending on my husband's money. So but it was worth it at the end. I got it, though I got it a little late, but yes, I'm here.
So now when you look back at your journey, being a student, being a professional, then again getting married and preparing for a decade for your exam, and today, like probably in the probation period, you would be like, okay, I'm going to like be there in that position. But you are at a stature right enough that you can help enormous number of students and guide them. So how is your mindset and how it has been over years evolving for you to be this individual?
I think there is a little bit of regret also in this because I started off a little late. So I was so focused on my family and all that. So I felt that I should have started off early. So that is what I tell kids. So what 10 years that I have spent, that was post in my late 20s, from there on 10 years. So I tell kids that make up your mind a little sooner so that a time lapse, after whatever phase you have, you get settled soon. Now, we were a little unfortunate. Our batch went into the court and all that tussle. So that's one part where we were like, unsettled or without a job for a couple of years because it was hung in the court and all. That was unfortunate. Doesn't happen with everybody. But yes, the earlier you get it, the better it is. That is what, because you'll have a long span of service in hand. You'll have that energy. When you do it at an earlier age, you have a lot of things. With age, things get a little tough. Your energy levels also go down, and then your responsibilities at home increase. So ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಬೇಗ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಶುರು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಬೇಗ ಸೆಟಲ್ ಆಗ್ತಾರೆ, ಬೇಗ into the system ಆಗ್ತಾರೆ, and then everything else follows. Your success as per your accomplishments and everything. You have a bigger span of your career.
When you look back, I'm sure there are regrets, there are ups and downs in your career, but at this spot and this phase in your life, how are you looking at life?
I think one has to be very positive to get into civil services itself. So spending 10 years at home, so preparing for exams is not very easy. So I have been positive, and that is what has made me come till here. And I tell every child, like, be positive. In fact, that's one thing I tell whenever they call me for some orientation in any of our coaching institutes. There's one thing I always tell children: take it easy, put in your hard work. You need not look like Albert Einstein to study, right? You have the smile on your face, take it one at a time, and be happy, be focused. And I've always been a very cheerful person, so I think I never had any negativity setting in. So I mean, touch wood. So I've been there with the same energy, I guess, unless someone reminds me of my age and all that. So I still feel what it's been like. This is the seventh year of my service. I still feel like how I was at day one. Yes, you will grow, you will mature in the as your job progresses professionally. You will mature, but you'll have to keep your energy levels high. So
According to you, do you think women or the girls have it more challenging than the other gender?
Of course, because when we have these natural milestones in life, that you get married, then you have a child. So I think men are at a little more. I can't say women are disadvantaged. I can say men are a little more advantaged in this field, because we always, back home, we have responsibilities. Men do have, but it's not as much as it is for
and
a
as
woman.
you grow up the ladder, you see the thin population of women, and do you think that makes a difference to be more challenging?
Yeah, but somehow if you look at Karnataka Sarkara, we see equal numbers.
Howdu.
So right from a Group C cadre till Chief Secretary, we've always had it in rotation, I guess.
True,
Okay,
true.
so Sir retires, Madam comes in, so it's like that. So it's very nice. We get our comfort zone when we see many women there, and they've been quite supportive as well.
And it's always inspiring to see some women in the top position.
Yes,
that
yes.
it aspires and inspires a lot.
Correct. So when I'm sitting on the chair as well, there are a lot of girl students who come in. So all the boys always complain, madam, ನೀವು ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ತುಂಬಾ ನೀವು ಇದು ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ, ನೀವು favoritism ತೋರಿಸ್ತೀರಾ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. Like, no, because I can make out that they have left their parents, they've come in, they're a little bit emotionally a little weak and all that. But I think we also make one of the strongest officers, being a woman, because I think
ಹೆಣ್ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳಕ್ ಇಷ್ಟಪಡ್ತೀರಾ ಆ ವಿಷಯದಲ್ಲಿ?
ಹೆಣ್ಮಕ್ಳು as it is, ಹೆಣ್ಮಕ್ಳು are quite strong. So the generation is different now, difficult. But yes, when you make major decisions in life, so take a well thought decision. Career ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೇನು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, because don't get stuck midway is what I feel. I see a lot of students who pursue it for 2-3 years, and then suppose, God forbid, and they don't crack the exam, then they leave it. So again agutte. So when you do such kind of things, you don't get the time back. So nanen heltini, adralli once you want to enter it, get through it. Anta. So avag ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, there are a lot of your family decisions that will be pending. Like, I see a lot of people like, not getting married, or they get married but they don't have children because they have a career ahead and all that. So once ಈ decision ತಗೊಂಡಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ boldly you cross the path. That's what I say. Don't lose hope midway, because you're losing out on you're sacrificing a lot of personal things for this. So it's not worth that you regress your steps.
ಇವಾಗ ನೀವ್ ಹೇಳಿದ ಹಾಗೆ ಟೈಮ್ ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದು ಅಂತ, ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ಯಾರಿಗೂ ಟೈಮ್ ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಸಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ಆದ್ರೂನು ಈ ಫಾಸ್ಟ್ ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಫೋನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಕ್ರೋಲ್ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಟೈಮ್ ಅರ್ಧ ಕಳೆದೋಗುತ್ತೆ.
I tell all the kids, ನೀವು ಆಫೀಸರ್ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ, especially for this generation, I tell them, please either you take away the network or you change your phone to a QWERT phone for communicating with your parents. That is enough. ನೀವು ಇದು ಓದ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ kindly keep your smartphones away. So because it's the biggest distraction that I think probably my generation didn't have back then. Like I'm talking about 10-15 years back. Ashtu in vogue irlilla. So this wastes a lot of time, of course.
So coming back to the topic of the conversation, having a right coach ಎಷ್ಟು ಮಟ್ಟಿಗೆ important?
Yeah, ivaga a mentorship is definitely important, because for the students who are going to start it off, ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಏನು ಗೊತ್ತಿರಲ್ಲ, they just like blank paper. Okay, so ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಎಷ್ಟು ಮಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ತಯಾರು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ, now we have a lot of institutes suppose on board, or coaching institutes in the market. Why is it that only a few of them get filled so fast? That is because their way of approach and their way of mentoring the students or connecting with the students is much better than the others. So anta idrali, and we also see results from certain particular institutes. ಅದು ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂದರೆ, one is of course hard work, and everything has to happen with the effort of the students, no doubt. But when you have someone to brainstorm you well and guide you well. See, the subject and the material, back then we had to ourselves find material. Now you are flooded with material. So that is also a problem now, because you will have to know which one to choose. Namdu ಏನಿತ್ತು, we had to refer 10 books and we had to extract material from that. Now you have so much material, you cannot afford to spend time on all of those, and then you will have to choose, pick the best, or cherry pick it. And anta idrali, when you have good mentors, and they will know, and especially prelims is all about how much you have read, your knowledge. Mains is all about your presentation of things. So I think for mains and interview is where you need a lot of mentorship, because children come with different academic backgrounds. You'll have students from state syllabus, you have students from CBSE, you'll have students from ICSE, and all that. So anta idrali, their way of presenting an answer, their way of conceptualizing things will be a little different. It will be different grades. So anta idrali, alli ಏನು ಬೇಕಾಗಿದೆ to fetch marks? What is it that you need to put forth? What is it that you need to highlight? What you need to emphasize? What is it that you need to let go? So for all that we need mentors. So that definitely is a big help. But at the end, again, 75-25 mentorship, 75% is the students' own efforts.